Joining us now is Matthew Chater, the newly appointed CEO of Big Brothers and Sisters of Canada, who's here to tell us about a national campaign he is spearheading to help create more understanding and diversity in the charity world and around Canada. Welcome to What She Said.
Great. Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, for people who may not be familiar with the organization, tell us exactly what Big Brothers and Sisters of Canada does.
So we have 108 local agencies right across Canada in over 1,300 communities. And Big Brothers, Big Sisters in our program is to create intentional mentoring relationships, oftentimes with young people who are facing a number of adversities. And the intentional pairing with a mentor helps to ignite as well as inspire the potential in those young people.
So, and how many Big Brothers and Sisters are there?
Great question, yeah. So we have about 23,000 volunteers.
That's amazing.
Within Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Canada. We're one of the largest mobilizers of volunteers across the country, and we provide supports and services to 43,000 young people across Canada, which is a great number, but I think we can increase that number as well, which is a big part of us running the Imagine BBBS campaign.
Yeah, well, you're an openly gay man, husband, father of 2 young boys, so you obviously understand the need for social change and the importance of inclusivity for all, which is exactly what the Imagine Who We Will Become campaign is about. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So Big Brothers, Big Sisters, we are very proud to have such a resilient brand. We've been around for 105 years. And so there's a lot of change, particularly social change, that happens across such a significant period of time. And we've had some complicated histories with diverse communities, particularly those most marginalized and minoritized. For the gay community, we used to have that as an eligibility criteria and would determine somebody to not be suitable as a big brother because they identified as being gay. For some of our marketing materials historically, it has pictured a very sanitized version around an image of what Big Brothers Big Sisters is. And so with our significant focus over the last many years on being a youth-led organization, youth have shared with us the importance that mentoring provides, but also has shared that there's some complicated elements around our history and how we start to become more inclusive and a welcoming space for LGBT recognized individuals, young people of color, Indigenous populations as well. So this campaign has really provided us an opportunity to say to the Canadian public, imagine who we can become because of you. And we're doing some deep reflection on our organization, not just at the national office, but across our 108 organizations to create a more inclusive space for young people.
Well, it wasn't like your previous campaign wasn't working, because in 2017 you received almost 4,000 volunteer inquiries. That would have nearly eliminated the 4,000 people waiting for a mentor. Right?
That's right. And so our campaign last year, still Imagine BBBS, but our tagline for last year was Imagine Who They Will Become Because of You. And so this year we're urging people to think of who we as a community can become if we have engaged community members giving their time and engaging with Big Brothers Big Sisters across the country.
So let me ask you, because I've always wondered, in the spirit of inclusivity, there also needs to be a certain control over who is allowed to influence young people.
Absolutely.
That is a huge challenge, I would imagine.
Yes. And
tell us about that.
Yeah, and Big Brothers Big Sisters, we take our duty of care very seriously and ensure that that where we are recruiting mentors, how we engage mentors, how we screen and train mentors as well. It's critical, and I think is the top of mind. And how we help and recognize that the development of a mentoring relationship over time, putting 2 individuals together and kind of helping them go out into the world is not the best way for us to foster that relationship in a really intentional way. But we have a great network of highly professional folks who work within Big Brothers Big Sisters, who work very closely with the families, as well as the mentees and the mentors, to make sure that the relationship is developing in a really healthy way, and making sure that the influence that they're able to have is meeting the unique needs of each of those young people participating in the program.
Well, I guess as the inclusivity factor widens, the training or the selection process becomes more complex. And
That's right.
And I'm glad we're having this conversation for people who are listening who may know somebody and have that same question.
Yes, and so we've gone into a 3-year process to look at all elements of our organization and how people enter as a volunteer, how people enter as a family, and what our community and what our agency needs to do in order to ensure that we're prepared and ready to have those individuals join our organization. A good example around creating, the pride flag stickers. So we absolutely encourage our organizations to put a pride flag sticker up within the organization, ensuring that the organization has done their due diligence in ensuring board, staff, as well as volunteers are prepared to ensure that is a safe place for young people to come.
I've got to ask, did the idea for this campaign come from personal challenges you faced?
Well, it didn't come from the personal challenges that I faced, but I think as a member, I'm fortunate and have many privileges as being a cisgender white man, but particularly growing up and having the experiences of being gay and the challenges that creates within social networks. I think I see a part of me in this campaign, but I think it is a broader social evolution and recognizing, and it was birthed out of Big Brothers Big Sisters really reflecting and listening to young people and what young people are identifying as being their needs and wanting access to mentors, and then how do we make sure that we're doing that effectively for young people. And so that's really where the campaign came from.
What's the time commitment like for somebody that wants to be a mentor?
Great question. So we ask that volunteers in our community-based one-to-one program commit 3 to 4 hours a week for a minimum of a year. We have a number of different programs, and they vary across our organizations as well. We have some core programs, but there's other programs as well, and many of them have different ways in which volunteers can give their time. And so if there are anybody who are listening to this who want to or are thinking about volunteering, connecting with their local Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies, and the list can be found on bigbrothersbigsisters.ca to look and see who their local community is, giving them a call and asking about those opportunities would be the great place to start.
So what does 2019 look like?
We are doubling down with our EDI, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion commitments, and we're really recognizing the unique position that Big Brothers Big Sisters is in to influence and help shape and provide access to skills for young Canadians, and so we're excited about the work that we have underway. Currently, we're partnering with Jamil Giovanni, who wrote Why Young Men, and we're going across the country speaking with marginalized, minoritized young people to get some insights to their experiences in community, so that we can look for youth-led solutions to some of the challenges that exist for them. So as we build out our program with Big Brothers Big Sisters, we're taking those insights and growing.
So how can people help support the charity and learn more about what you're doing?
That's great. So we ask people to give of time as well as dollars. So this is a significant effort to be able to create these intentional mentoring relationships. And I mentioned earlier, we all have professional staff. And in order to provide the professional staff, we have to have the resources to be able to support those individuals being employed with our organizations. We're also needing volunteers. And so if you can give of your time to an organization such as ours, to reach out. So bigbrothersbigsisters.ca is a great place to go to learn more about our programs. And if you're wanting to be able to support financially, it's a great way to learn how to do that as well.
Matthew Chater, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
She said mystical or a powerful one.